So the principles that we learned last week, the whole FOIL concept that you guys have already been exposed to multiple times before, is going to come into play as we get through this, but there's a few examples that we're going to do that you're going to think maybe are too hard to use FOIL for, but that's not the case. So we're going to start with number 33. Again, I'm giving you the odds so that you're able to do the evens. So odds, and I highly recommend you actually write out the original binomials before attempting to multiply. That way you double check that you have what you're supposed to have to start with. Okay. x4 plus x squared y squared times 4x squared minus y squared. Okay. So it looks like I had everything correct. So the product of f is going to be 4x to the what? Good job. 4x to the 6th. Very good. Okay. The product of O, x4 and negative y2. What's x4 and negative y2? Any ideas? How about 1 and negative 1? What's that going to be? So it's a negative. x4, y2 is just going to be x4, y2 because there is no way to make these two somehow combine into something different. Okay? That's O. I. So the coefficient, 4 times a positive 1. 4 times a positive 1 is 4. X squared is x to the 4th. Y squared, nothing, y squared. So technically these two things are going to be combinable because they are x4 y squareds. All right? Last. Okay, 1 times negative 1 is going to be a negative. X squared times, there's no x's, so it's x squared. Y squared, y to the 4th. Okay, add everything up. Obviously, 4x to the 6th doesn't combine with anything. Simply looking at your coefficients, a negative 1 combined with a positive 4 is a positive 3. A positive 3 what? x4, y2s. Okay? Minus x squared y to the 4th. Okay? If we did our arithmetic correctly, that's your answer. That's 33. Okay? 35. Now, 35 introduces an additional layer to your foiling, and I'm going to show you how to make it work. They give you a sample there, sample 3, and you could certainly use that as well. But here is another one so that you have additional ammunition. Okay, hopefully you're copying this because that's my rule. All right. So I've got y, 4y plus 3, y minus 2. You're thinking, well, how do I FOIL this? Well, you're going to be able to FOIL it after you distribute your y over either of the binomials. Okay? You could distribute this y over these two because remember, when you're multiplying, order doesn't matter. Okay? But I'm going to distribute here, so I'm going to end up with 4y squared plus 3y. All of that is the result of this. So this binomial gets multiplied by y minus 2 that has been waiting patiently. Okay? F. Here's your F. We'll see what we get. y squared times y. What do you get? 4y cubed? Okay. O outside. 4y squared and a negative 2. Negative 8y squared. I inside. Positive 3y and y. Okay, I'm going to line this right up underneath because I can see that it is the same thing. So clearly, these two are going to be combinable just like these two were. So I'm going to go ahead and line it up because it's going to happen anyway. Last. (3y) and negative 2. Do you end up with a negative 6y? Okay. Add it up. 4y cubed minus 5y squared minus 6y. Okay? There's 35 for you. By the way, if I don't see work, I'm not accepting it. Okay? Don't ask. Yes, do it right. Do it the way you're told. Okay? Even if some of you think you can do this all in your head, I don't care. I want to see what the work that you do to get it. Okay, 37 is the exact same thing as 35. It involves an additional element prior to foiling. Okay, so prior to foiling, let's distribute the x squared over the items within the first binomial. Looks like we would end up with 4x squared minus x cubed. Okay? The second binomial was waiting patiently. So far, so good? What's the result of f? 8x squared. How about I? Negative 12x cubed. Say again? Oh, F-O. This is O. 4 and 3. Now we're doing I and L. What's L? What's a negative times a negative? It's positive 3x to the fourth. Got to make sure you get that sign right. Okay? Good job, Spike. Okay. Combining like terms is going to give us 8x squared minus 14x cubed plus 3x to the fourth. Okay, as our final answer. Okay, so all we did for 33, 35, and 37 is multiply binomials. Multiply binomials with an additional friend. For 39 and 41, we're going to do that same thing, but then use it to solve something. Okay? So 39 has the product of y plus 4 and y minus 3 equals the product of y minus 2 and y plus 5. Solve. Well, in order to solve it, the first thing you have to do is multiply the binomials. So for the left, you end up with y squared minus 3y plus 4y minus 12, right? Obviously, I'll combine these middle y's. And on the right, y squared plus 5y minus 2y minus 10. And obviously, I'll combine the y's on that side as well. Okay? Which gives me y squared plus y minus 12 equals y squared plus 3y minus 10. Okay? You guys doing okay? All right, all we did was what we've done in the past, separated with an equal sign now. Let's collect like terms. Let's recognize that we're going to cancel out our y squareds because when I subtract it from here, it becomes a 0. When I subtract it from here, it becomes a 0. I'm going to move my y's to the right, which brings me to 2y. And I'm going to move my numbers to the left, my constant. 2y equals -2. Am I right so far? Divide by the coefficient of y, and you will find out that y equals -1. Okay? Y equals -1. (41) is not any different. 41 is not any different. We'll do that one. The product of 2x minus 1 and 8x plus 3 is equal to the product of 4x plus 5 and 4x minus 5. Okay. F, 16x. Outside, 6x, inside, -8x. Can you combine that in your head? Outside, 6x, inside, -8x. 6 and -8 is what? -2. Last is a 3. You don't have to do it in your head, but O and I oftentimes are the same thing. You can just combine them. Okay? Okay. 4x outside 16x squared.
Tiana Leonard, the office, please.
Outside. Inside. Positive 20x. The x disappears, doesn't it? Last, -25. A side note, this type of multiplication is called the difference of squares. This is a perfect square, this is a perfect square, this is the difference thereof. It's our next lesson. In any case, we can start moving stuff around. The x squareds are going to cancel themselves out. That leaves me with 2x minus 3 and -25. I'm going to add my 3 to the right, which gives me -2x equals -22. Divide by a -2. X should equal 11 if I did my arithmetic correctly. All right. I'm going to do 43 with you as well. Okay, 43. This is your last example. The product of 2x minus 3 and x plus 3 is equal to, look at all this work, x minus 3 squared added to x plus 3 squared. Okay, that means we've got to FOIL this. We've got to FOIL x minus 3 times x minus 3 and add it to the FOILed result of x plus 3 times x plus 3. Okay? Yes, this requires a little more pencil work, a little more space, but it's not any more difficult. It just takes patience. 2x times x. Anybody want to participate today? Thank you. Outside is positive 6x. Inside -3. So positive 3x is the sum of O and I minus 9. Okay? Now, x minus 3 is what that is, right? So f is x squared. Outside is -3x. Inside is -3x. Resulting sum, -6x. Everybody with me so far? -3 and -3 is a positive 9. Okay? This item is going to be added to the result of this. x plus 3, x plus 3. Okay? Another item of note, these two multiplication problems, or these two types of problems are called perfect square trinomials. Okay? This is a perfect square trinomial. I know this because this is a perfect square, that's a perfect square, and this is the sum of twice the product of the first two terms. Anyways, you'll learn more about that. But these are very common patterns that you're going to learn about. Okay, so x plus 3x plus 3, x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 6x, and positive 9. Okay, so look at these things. X minus 3 squared, x plus 3 squared. And look at the result. Everything is the same except for the sign in the center. Okay, that's going to come in handy in the not-so-distant future. All right, before we even start combining, notice we're combining, which means no signs need flipped. I already can see that the negative 6x is going to cancel the positive 6x. Would you agree? So I end up with 2x squared plus 18 on the right is equal to 2x squared plus 3x minus 9 on the left. Our x squareds are going to cancel each other out wherever you send them. Okay? And I already have my variable on the left, so I am going to add my constant to the right. 3x equals 27. Okay? No sense in moving your variable. If it's on the left, put your constants on the right. Divide by your coefficient, and you end up with x being equal to 9. If you take your time and follow the steps slowly, if you're neat about it, that'll help you see if you made a mistake. You'll be okay.